you often recommend people to go work on a cruise ship, and I'm always telling people, especially if they're young, like go do study abroad, do an exchange program because you're gonna gain so much from it. And it might not even, it doesn't necessarily have to be financially gains, later on in their careers, but like in personally, I think,
Of course.
you're growing as a person.
Yes, you grow because you get in touch with different cultures,
Cultures.
different mindsets, and of course you grow from that a lot.
And you also start to learn or to know yourself better. In contrast with other people and other cultures, you get to know yourself much better,
Of course.
And because you're away from your home, away from your parents, and from people who are taking care of you if you're very young, you learn by that too, by the challenges and having to make your food and, decide your own what you're going to do.
I would say this is a huge change if you got all of this at once. If, for example, if you live with your parents, if you never lived abroad, if you never spent, I would say, a month away from home, and if you're just going totally into the opposite direction of this, that could be a huge bomb just dropping right in your life.
Yeah.
So if you could reduce those things, because of course you're gonna feel homesick at some point, and maybe you have the language barrier to overcome, and then you have the cultural barrier. So there are many things happening together. It's always a better idea if you maybe live by yourself for some time, if you learn how to deal with some stuff. And of course, we were mentioning about growing after getting in touch with people from all over countries, from all over the world, from different countries. It goes to that idea of different mindsets, different ways of thinking. Of course, you do have contact with people all over your life, but most of them pretty much come from the same background as you come. And that's when it gets interesting, because you're gonna see people from different upbringings.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, the personal development, I think there's nothing that compares with it. If you're not in your home country, because of all the challenges. Yeah, it's amazing. But of course, in my case, I mean, it wasn't that harsh, because I had never, or actually, I think I lived for a few months by myself before going there. So I did have some experience living by myself. But there you're not actually by yourself, totally by yourself, because of course you have the university taking care of you, and you have this monthly allowance. I wasn't working there. I was just studying there. So the struggle was not that, that bad, of a struggle. But yeah, if people go to work, then that's a totally different thing.